This is real life, the realest life ever, the realest community ever. There's nothing like this anywhere. I don't care about anybody. There's no one with my stories, no one with the experiences, no one with this community. We are part of something. This movement is going to change things. It's so sad that one of the reasons people don't try is because they're afraid to fail, when you actually cannot win or succeed at anything if you don't fail. There's a wonderful quote in this movie called Little Miss Sunshine that I just saw recently that says, "Losers never win because they're afraid to lose." Shout out to you for being here. Welcome to the best podcast ever. My name is Jesse Ojuka. And this is Nothing to the Grave, the best podcast ever. Someone told me they like the fact that this podcast is raw, and that's probably one of my strengths, which is intentional. I like leaving it raw. Being too crisp and too cut is disingenuine for me. Granted, I need to get that balance though. But this podcast is just for people who want to embark on a journey. Any journey. It may be creative, it may be corporate, but a journey, because I've been doing Nothing to the Grave now for 5 months, and it's been a process of continuous learning, which was something I was aware of at the beginning. Obviously, I couldn't predict the ways I would have to learn and the things that I would experience as I was doing it, but it's been a learning process, which I'm very welcome. And a lot of the times that learning is painful. I recently wrote a song that says, "Lessons burn, but then they turn into gold." Wow. I'm actually quite a very gifted person, and I know, like, it may seem like I know that, but I actually get a lot of that for somebody who is fucking gifted. But sometimes I get clarity, like now. But I just want to talk. This is a freestyle pod. And I just want to talk about the experiences and things I've gone through as somebody trying to figure it out. Raw. Nothing to the Grave is raw podcast. And I want people to know who is behind this brand, although I want it to grow to other people as it develops. If you want to be on Nothing to the Grave as well, hit up Nothing to the Grave email or page, and we can see how we can incorporate people, because the whole point of this is for inspirational purposes. It's not to push Jesse Ojuka or Jesse June. So one of the first things that I want to talk about is social media and how I feel about it, especially now that I have to be on there as a creator, as an artist. I don't want to call myself a podcaster. It's one thing I do, but social media, how do I feel about it? So it's quite funny, because as I was a teenager, I was quite immersed in social media and quite good at it. I used it effectively, made some money from it, which was great. I used it to make money with JB events, used it to make money with a clothing brand called The Active Cloud that I use influencer marketing and SEO and all those things. I like social media. As I've grown though, and discovered presence and discovered reading and discovered myself, the fact that I don't like overstimulation at all, and also the countless other negative aspects of social media, I just naturally grew away from it. Like, I don't love it. So to then embark on this journey where I need to be on it frequently, it's been something that I was quite concerned about before I embarked on it. And it's quite funny, because people will tell me, "Oh, I see you on social media," and these are friends, these are loved ones, and they'll say, "You need to be on there more, you need to be posting more." And like, I hear them, right? But there's so much different elements that play a part into it, and that's why you have to be mindful of who you take advice from. Because I tried it at the beginning. I was like, okay, making intentional content just so I can have something every day to post. Yo, the burnout, fam, you man haven't seen burnout. Social media burnout, I experienced that so quickly, and it's not like that was my cake. Now I look at it And it's the Pareto principle, which states that 80% of the things we do, 80% of the results we get come from 20% of the things we do. And I want to be a creator, like on a very creative level. I do not want to make talking to the screen videos. Now I want to make more narrative based stuff, more artistic stuff, more metaphorical stuff, more stimulating stuff. And that's the development I need to go through. I don't want to be a social media influencer. So now when I'm like on social media and I'm seeing how to get the best social media content and how to, like, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't, like, all these people are going to be forgotten. And yeah, great. This is not a slight to anyone that wants to be big on social media, but all that shit is temporary. And yes, I guess in a temporary moment you can make so much money because there are people who are on social media killing it. And I currently live in my mom's house, but but it's just knowing what satisfies you, because ultimately as well, I'm a creator. I have creative urges as well that need to be satisfied, like making TikToks and making Instagram reels. I couldn't give a fuck. Like, I honestly, like, when TikTok came in, when TikTok was introduced to the world, I wasn't using social media. I heard about it. I was like, all right, Donald Trump wants to ban this, which I also heard. I was like, this is going to pass. Next thing I know, it's the biggest app in the world. And I just still, this still hasn't marinated in my mind, the fact that TikTok is a thing. This is a thing. My perspective in life is so skewed because I'm blown away that people want more social media in their lives. I'm finding out ways to get rid of social media. I literally see like if I download Instagram, because I don't keep it on my phone, I download it for use. When I see Instagram on my phone, I get irritated. And like for today that I'm recording the podcast, I have it downloaded because I'm posting on Nothing to the Grave. But even when I open my phone and see social media there, it irks me. I have to like remove from home screen because that's my relationship with social media. I'm there if I need to use it. So the point of that long fucking talk was that my relationship with Nothing to the Grave and social media is something that I'm working on. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to use it. I want to build this brand to a point where I don't have to post anymore, because like I'm making 20 to 30 minute podcast episodes. I have an abundance of social media stuff that I can post. I can post 5 times every day if I want to, but that means I'll have to be on my phone constantly. And if I'm on my phone constantly, that means I won't have the time to create. I won't have the time to let my mind be free to actually come up with the concepts to create. I won't have the time to write. I won't have the time to be a human being. Be a human being, because Nothing to the Grave, and this is a second point now, Nothing to the Grave is not, it's my life philosophy, the philosophies of this brand, living a life to our full potential and one that we will not regret when we go to the grave. That's the overall philosophy. But I am an artist. Like, I make music. That's actually what I spend most of my time doing creatively. Writing, making music. Nothing to the Grave is just there for when I put out music and start putting out more creative art, people can see the mentality of somebody who succeeds as an artist and succeeds in your field, succeeds in what they are doing in life. So it's pretty much the behind the scenes, but it's funny because it's behind the scenes to a movie people haven't seen yet. So finding that balance between Nothing to the Grave and also Jesse June, which is the artist in me, is something that I have to like be quite mindful of, because I spend 2 days on Nothing to the Grave per week. That's my aim. Filming days on Wednesdays and writing days. Wednesdays are the days I used to write and film and come up with ideas, and Saturdays are the days I used to edit. The other days I'm writing music, making music in the studio. So if I was to like start posting every day, it's going to damage the things that are at the front of my priority list. And this is, I guess, a tidbit. Know your priorities. Know your priorities in life, because again, people hit me up and say, oh, you can do so well on social media. And if I wanted to, I could probably drown the algorithm in Jesse Ojuka and Nothing to the Grave content. But it just doesn't sit right with me. That's not my goal. I don't want to be I don't want to be a social media person. I don't care about numbers. Like, I'm so, obviously I do, because these things are psychologically designed to penetrate our monkey brains. But I'm getting better at talking, which is great. But I don't care about it with each passing day. I see it, and I guess it's just a gauge. The numbers are a gauge to see what works and what doesn't work, but it doesn't give me any sense of joy or any sense of accomplishment when I see numbers. All it does is if people got the message or not. I said something funny to my brother. I was like, maybe I'm not broken enough to be good on social media, because I feel like people who really thrive on social media are like really insecure. But that's not fair to say. A lot of people who thrive on social media are incredibly creative individuals. But there are a subsection of people who feed off it, which I just can't relate to gladly. But I try to remember that it is a tool to be used and not to let use me. So that's my relationship with social media. Another thing I've experienced with Nothing to the Grave is how your creative goals and your career goals in your life may also change. Because I started this brand with the intention of, okay, I started with a podcast, YouTube, Instagram, social media channels, and I've quickly realized very, very early that I do not like seeing myself on my page. It irritates me, and I feel like I'm in my comfort zone now. Today, though, of recording this, I'm going to post a writing piece, but I don't want to be talky, screamy, shouty in the camera guy. I don't want to be that guy. And I like, the people who inspire me are obviously people like, let me throw Gary Vee in there, Stephen Barnett, Diary of Your CEO, Jordan Peterson, Big Think, Matt Delavia, Better Ideas. These are guys that are very at the forefront of their videos, and they inspire me in a huge element, and they're probably one of the catalysts that inspired us into the grave. But ultimately, I like film more than any of these things. I like narrative-based storytelling, symbolism. So now I'm trying to jump over a chasm or find a way to build a bridge to where this brand is more artistic and more creative, because yes, I find myself to be relatively okay at speaking, and when I said this to my buddy, he was like, you obviously like talking, and yes, I do like talking. So sometimes, but more often than not, I want to create something. I think maybe I need to learn so much more how to tell a story in a cinematic way, and also be more organized. And that's going to lead me to the third thing I'm experiencing with Nothing to the Grave that I'm learning. Organization is key, especially because I'm a doer, right? So I'm a do person, which is great obviously on the surface, but it can be so detrimental because I like to do. So I just like doing things, which obviously can be detrimental in terms of quality. Because sometimes by the time I'm finished recording the podcast and putting it up, like, I just throw it up then. Because to me, the work is done. And I'm always racing to do the next thing. But I need to organize better, because I actually need to give myself the time to be like, okay, how am I going to make the switch from exposition based delivery to a more narrative based delivery? Because stories are ultimately what bring us together. Stories are literally the human race. The human race is a story, and my life is stories. My life is full of great stories. That's one of the reasons I started Us in the Grave. And funny enough, I do not tell enough stories on here. And I feel like one of the reasons I do that is because I'm trying to keep up with the posting every week, like which is good to a certain extent, but I need to organize myself. I may stop posting every week and post maybe once a month, but that once a month will be something that's artistically delicious and more impactful. And that's something I need to also build in myself, because I feel uncomfortable when I'm not moving forward. And ironically enough, by me not putting the time to work effectively, I'm not moving forward as much as I could if I actually did it slower. So that's also something that I've learned. Work slower. It's something I'm trying now. Like, I think I posted a video on YouTube last week, Saturday, and it was the first video I posted in a month. Granted, it didn't take me a month. My laptop broke and there was some of that, but I told myself, okay, posting every week on YouTube is actually impossible to do and stay sane and have any level of quality. Organization is something that when you embark on your journey and you embark on your life or embark on a hobby, you're going to see how important it is. That's one thing I'm learning. And to talk about, this is another thing creatively that I've noticed is that, and I've heard about this before. So the video I put out last week about how to be creative is a topic that I'm incredibly passionate about, and a topic that is underrated by society, I feel, me included, creativity. And I made sure to put effort into that video to incorporate the things that depict my personality well, creativity, my different tastes, my eclectic nature, and so on, and stories. Made that video, was super proud of it, and it's one of my worst performing videos. And I've heard about it before, but experiencing it is never nice. That the things that we make or the things that we do that we think may be the best or are the best to us may not be the best to society. And that's just something that we're going to have to accept. There's no cure to that. That's just something creatively I feel like is a rite of passage. You know, like the videos that has done the most for me, it's not even up to 1,000 views, but like, do I care for that video? No, I wouldn't want to watch it again. But the creativity video, if someone says, what's a video to watch that depicts yourself and also is valuable, that is the one. And yet it doesn't have the views. So again, society probably judges us differently to how we see ourselves. That shouldn't discourage you or discourage us. We should keep going. And lastly, the last thing I'll say, which is quite important and also quite valuable for every single person, is how good I've gotten at failing. Like, I'm so unafraid to fail now. It's gorgeous. It's actually gorgeous because, like, every person who succeeds fails. And I just love how, like, it doesn't matter to me. Failing doesn't matter to me. It doesn't do anything to me. In fact, I'm not even failing enough because I'm not trying as many things as I like in terms of variety. Not putting myself out there and nothing to the grave has made me even more impermeable to failure. Now I don't feel like what is failure? What is failure? I literally fail every day. I have micro failures every day. Every single time I put out a video, every single time I write something, every single time I put something out, that's me not failing, but offering myself up to either success or failure. And I do not care. And honestly, that's like one of the coolest things a human being can have. Because there's a great quote that Colin Davis says. He says, the road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same. And I like that. It's a bit of a vague quote, but I like it. Because this is what every single thing I'm doing now, hopefully if I continue and I continue to improve and I continue to learn and I continue to grow, like, this is all just going to be prototypes, things that help me learn things that will eventually lead me to success. It's fun. It's so sad that one of the reasons people don't try is because you're afraid to fail, when you actually cannot win or succeed at anything if you don't fail. There's a wonderful quote in this movie called Little Miss Sunshine that I just saw recently that says, losers never win because you're afraid to lose. Losers never win because they're afraid to lose. I'm not afraid to lose. I'm not afraid to lose. In fact, I lose constantly. I've lost constantly. I've lost more than anybody that I know personally. I said that in the first episode, and it's something I'm proud of because it shows I try. The real winners are people who lose and continue to go. That's what Winston Churchill said. It's one of my most memorable quotes. Success is stumbling from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. That's me. That's me. And I would love if I had me as somebody to listen to. Because I'm not rich yet. That's the thing. I'm not successful yet. It's not like Gary Vee or any of these people where you find them and they already have success. I'm building now. I'm still building, but this is how I feel now. So that's pretty much my mind with Nothing to the Grave. I'm enjoying it. I want to restructure it a bit. Probably change my delivery, change a few ways I'm expressing the value in the brand, be more empathetic in terms of how I deliver stuff, be more bit concise in terms of the value I give. One of the things I really want to do is incorporate myself more into it, the things that make me, so my taste, because that's my biggest strength. I said it in that video, creativity. My biggest strength is not my intellect, because I'm not a smart person. My biggest strength is not my editing skills, because I'm not a video editor. My biggest strength is the fact I'm eclectic. I've traveled. I literally sink my teeth into multiple forms of art, multiple sources of music, multiple forms of creators. I'm eclectic. Like, sometimes I look at the stuff I do and my mentality and the connection, I'm like, wow, this is somebody that's very creative. And I hope I never sound too egotistical the way I talk about myself. I just feel like sometimes I can look at myself a bit objectively. That's why I can say I'm shit at so many things, but I know the few things I am good at. And that's one thing I don't like about society. When somebody says I'm shit, people are like, no, you're not shit. But when somebody says, oh, I'm good at this, people are like, oh, he's a dickhead. Yo, society wants us to keep us in constant disarray. It doesn't want us to be sure about ourselves. Like, why do we hate people that know you're good at something? I'm telling you people now that I'm eclectic. I'm a multifaceted person. It's my strength. But I'm also bad at many things. I'm not the most meticulous person. I don't have the best attention to detail. I'm not the most intellectual person. My problem solving skills are also not the best. But I'm aware of that. And that's a great thing. So yes, this was a freestyle podcast, trying something new all the time, because I usually, as of late, I've been writing down my podcasts, the structure. This one, I just wanted people to know where my head was at in terms of the brand, give people a behind the scenes look into how the process is going. Ultimately, my birthday is coming up in the next few days, 11th of June, and my birthday was actually the day that began the process of creating Listen to the Grave, because of how much fear I felt of not doing this because I hadn't put myself out there, I hadn't created. And now I'm excited for my birthday because I feel like I'm going to look back and say to myself, I have no regrets, which is gorgeous, because that's actually the philosophy of this brand. And I can't teach anything I can't live or can't express, because that's my fear. You should have seen, I'm going to talk about this probably next week. That's my fear. Like, last year when I turned 24, I was like, what am I doing? There's so many things that if I didn't stop doing, where I would be. Like, right now, Listen to the Grave has 200 and something followers, which isn't anything monumental, but if I didn't try, it would have 0. It wouldn't exist. People have hit me up and be like, they've changed certain patterns in their life. They started certain things in their life. Friends, people I don't know. And I'm like, imagine if I didn't do that, the impact, and then they may impact somebody else. And that's how the world evolves, when we all use our strengths to help each other. People are the point of life. People, and this is coming from somebody that can be quite antisocial, somebody that can be quite introverted. People are the whole point of life. We learn from each other. I pass on my strengths to somebody else. They pass on their strengths to me. Then I pass that on to somebody else, and they pass it on to somebody else. And so it continues on. I love you guys, man. I do this for you guys. I do this for you guys. I do this for us. I do this for us. You know? I want to leave you guys with a quote that just says, yo, pain is unrealized potential, and failure is stumbling and giving up. Success is stumbling from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. That's what success is. So look at me. You can look at me. I have 79. I have 79 followers on TikTok. I don't give a shit, bro. Whether I have a 79, 100, I'm going to keep going. This is my process. This is the process. So this is it. I'm doing this because I want people to see the ups and downs. Like, it's never glory. I don't want it to be immediate glory. I don't want it to be immediate success. Where's the fun in that? Where is the fun in that? Where's the story in that? That's not even a test to myself. Although, obviously, we like easy things as human beings, but I want to stand at the mountaintop and know I climbed the mountain, not rode a helicopter down. I like that. Me personally, I like that. That's where my confidence comes from, knowing I climbed the mountain. Knowing that when I wanted to lose 20 kg, I went to the fucking gym for 7 years without losing weight before I finally did it on the 7th year. That's where confidence comes from, and that's what next episode is going to be about, or last week's episode. I don't know at what point you're hearing this, but yo, I could talk for bare time, which is a good thing. It's actually a skill. People will be like, oh, you like to talk. Say that in a bit of a patronizing manner. Yes, I have a lot of shit to say. I have a lot of experiences. What can you tell me about the fucking news, man? I just spoke literally 2 podcasts back to back for about an hour, 30 minutes. I didn't mention Andrew Tate. I didn't mention fucking Twitter. This shit came from my mind. Telling me bullshit, bro. Don't get that news out of my face. This is real life. The realest life ever. The realest community ever. There's nothing like this anywhere. I don't care about anybody. There's no one with my stories. No one with the experiences. No one with this community. We are part of something. This movement is going to change things. Nothing to the grave. It's a world thing. It's a planet thing. Thank you. I'm out. Sat in West Savannah with my younger cousins. Music bumps while I'm swiping through the social poisons. 1,000 listens gave me visions that my music buzzing. Thought I was too good to feel reality. Screams I wasn't.